Welcome back to the Essential Question on LSTV. With the FIFA 2022 World Cup kicking off in just 2 days' time, we wanted to find out if the controversy surrounding Qatar's poor human rights record is affecting students' attitude towards watching it and how they feel about it as football fans. So will you be watching the World Cup this year?
Yeah, I'll be watching the World Cup. I mean, not all the games, but England games at least.
Will you be watching or not?
Maybe I'll be with my friend.
I will be watching it, but almost like reluctantly.
Will you be watching the World Cup this year?
No,
Why not?
because boycott Qatar.
Yeah, I will be. I'm very excited.
Oh, it's compulsory to watch the World Cup and the Euros. Like, other football doesn't count.
I think so, yeah. I think I will, yeah.
Yeah, who will you be supporting?
England, of course.
England for the win.
Yeah.
Will you be watching the World Cup this year?
Yeah, we'll be watching, of course. I feel like if I didn't watch it, then I'd be missing out on a major tournament in like a major worldwide event, especially because of where it's being hosted.
There's a lot of problems in there, and I feel bad watching it, and I shouldn't because it's at the end of the day it's the sport that we love. But yeah, maybe not the best place to have the World Cup.
It's a big violation of human rights. And like, whole FIFA is kind of corrupt. And then the whole thing with Qatar is just like, it's a lot of money involved. Like, I love football. Football sport is great. But the whole organization around is like, yeah, it's just.
And what do you think of the fact it's being hosted in Qatar?
I mean, to be honest, it kind of takes away from like some of the values of the World Cup being inclusive.
They need to randomly select which country it is, not based off like whether it's going to benefit FIFA or not.
Have you heard about the fact that their human rights record is really bad?
I don't know.
Do you support people who might be boycotting?
Yeah, of course, definitely. Qatar should never, in my opinion, been awarded it.
What do you think of people who might be boycotting the World Cup because it's being hosted in Qatar?
I think certainly it would have worked more if it was the higher ups, it was the footballers themselves.
I mean, like, single guy boycotting it is not really a big impact, of course. So maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't really agree with the whole thing.
I mean, they could try boycott it, but it's such a big thing. They're not going to do it. I mean, it's not going to work. If they try, they can, but I don't even think that's just worth it realistically.
I know that Norway had been trying to campaign to boycott the World Cup, and they're not going anyways because they didn't qualify. But I reckon had they qualified, if they then refused to go to the World Cup, that would have given a really huge statement.
Obviously, there's not brilliant LGBTQ plus rights in Qatar, and so Joe Lycett's been saying like, David Beckham, if you go to Qatar, I will burn all this money, and if you don't go, I'll donate it.
And did you see that Sepp Blatter came out and said it was a mistake to award Qatar the World Cup?
No, I didn't see that. I think that's just him trying to cover it up. Honestly, he's had his hands all over it since the very beginning. They all point knives in each other's backs. It's terrible. I've never seen anything like it, and they're so powerful.
Do you think you can ever really separate football and politics?
Well, you can separate football and politics, but you can't separate FIFA and politics.
I think it's really difficult to separate it because, like, I will watch the World Cup and I'll be like very aware the whole time. It's not going to stop me enjoying the football, but I'm still going to be very aware. And like I said, as a woman, it does make you feel a bit like, oh.
If it was not being hosted in Qatar, would you watch?
Well, if it wasn't in a country where things were like organized in a better way with like respect for human rights, yes, probably.